The second my feet hit the terminal floor with my 2 kids, I knew this 3-hour layover was about to push me to my limits. My husband was deployed halfway across the world, leaving me solo with a wild 6-year-old and a 4-year-old who apparently thought airport tiles were trampolines. I just needed a safe corner where they could burn energy without me losing my mind entirely. We found it. A massive, empty gate with no boarding for hours, plush carpet, away from the chaos of food courts. 0 humans in sight. I let them sprint, cartwheel, and giggle like maniacs. 30 seconds later, the sharp click-clack of heels approached, a missile locked on target. A woman, mid-50s, blonde bob sharper than a military-cut neon coral blazer, stormed up, clutching a massive binder like it was a constitution. Before I could even smile, she barked, "This is not a playground. I'm calling security." I blinked. We were literally alone. My daughter froze mid-cartwheel. My son whispered, "Mommy, is she a teacher? I hope teachers have souls." She jabbed her finger at 911, shrieking about unaccompanied minors, disturbing the peace and health code violations. "Ma'am, they're with me," I said, standing tall. She ignored me completely, claiming she was the HOA travel liaison or some equally terrifying title, and had full authority in any U.S. airport. I am not exaggerating. Those were her exact words. My kids' faces went from joy to terror in a heartbeat. Something snapped in me. Then she made her critical mistake. She sneered at the American flag patch on my backpack, sewn by my husband before his deployment. Military families think rules don't apply to them. Typical. My son started crying. My daughter clung to my leg. That's when the first security golf cart rolled up, lights flashing, 2 officers looking utterly confused about why anyone would call an emergency over breathing children. Karen's eyes lit up like she'd hit the jackpot. She waved her binder, screaming about bylaws, noise decibels, and labeled my kids as domestic terrorists. One officer tried to calm her. She swatted his hand away, demanding we be removed immediately. The second officer knelt to check on my daughter, and that's when he spotted my military family ID hanging from my carry-on. His entire demeanor shifted. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. Gate C-27 transformed into a scene I never expected. The first officer, a buzz-cut, calm and authoritative from years of dealing with chaos, at 3 a.m., raised his hand like stopping traffic. "Ma'am, lower your voice. These children are doing nothing wrong." She lost it. Her face matched the neon blazer as she shrieked. "Do you know who I am? I'm on the board of the National HOA Alliance. I have jurisdiction here." Jurisdiction? At an airport in Ohio, she lunged for my tiny 38-pound son, who dove behind me. I stepped in, swinging my backpack and knocking her binder out of her hands. Papers exploded. Laminated rules, color-coded neighborhood maps, and I swear, a petition to ban Christmas inflatables over 4 feet. The second officer grabbed her elbow to hold her back. She slapped it away and screamed, "Assault! I'm being attacked by airport staff." Karen shrieked, and that's when the crowd started forming. Phones came out. A teenage girl filming vertically yelled, "World Star," like we were in a Chuck E. Cheese parking lot. My daughter buried her face into my hip, sobbing. My son whispered, "Mommy, is Daddy coming?" And I almost collapsed right there. Karen spotted the cameras and went full victim mode. Fake tears, trembling lip, the whole act. Pointing at me, she wailed, "This woman attacked me because I'm enforcing the peace. She's teaching her children to be entitled brats, just like their absent father probably is." Oh, yes, the absent father who was currently dodging IEDs halfway across the world. Perfect comparison, Karen. The officers were done playing games. Officer Buzzcut got on his radio. "We need a supervisor and Port Authority PD to Gate C-27. Repeat, combative passenger refusing to comply." Karen heard Port Authority and tried to bolt. Tried, because right then a TSA agent in a Navy vest appeared out of nowhere, blocking her path, saying the sentence that made my knees buckle. "Ma'am, you're not going anywhere until we figure out why you're harassing an active duty family." How did he know? My husband's rank and last name were stitched under that flag patch, visible for anyone who looked closely. This guy was former Army, saw it, locked eyes with me, and gave a tiny nod that said, "I got you, sister." Karen began hyperventilating, clutching her actual pearls, yelling that she had a heart condition, and we were all trying to murder her. Then she had the most unhinged thing yet, dropped to the carpet, sprawled out like a fainting couch circa 1897, moaning, "Help! Oppression! My rights!" While attempting to crawl toward the down escalator. The crowd erupted. Someone started slow clapping. A gate agent handed my kids lollipops, telling them they were the bravest travelers in the terminal. My son stopped crying long enough to ask if the lady was a dragon. Honestly, fair question. 2 real police officers arrived, badges gleaming, handcuffs in sight. Karen tried one last Oscar-worthy performance. "Officers, thank God these people attacked me. I'm enforcing the peace." The first cop surveyed the scattered HOA papers, the kids clinging to me, the 20 phones recording, and stared at her like she was a glitch in the Matrix. "Ma'am, stand up. You're coming with us." She refused, screaming about lawsuits and a judge brother-in-law in Florida. They helped her to her feet by the arms while she kicked and flailed like a toddler mid-tantrum. As they walked past me, she locked eyes and hissed, "This isn't over. I know your husband's name. I have connections." That's when the TSA agent leaned in, whispered something to the officers, and all 3 of them smirked simultaneously. Karen's face drained of color so fast, I thought she might actually faint for real. They started dragging her away. Still screaming, binder pages sticking to her blazer like sad confetti. The crowd parted like the Red Sea. Someone started chanting USA, because apparently this had become the Olympics of petty justice. I thought it was over. I truly did. But 20 minutes later, an announcement crackled over the intercom, making every single person in the terminal freeze. The entire terminal at Gate C-27 completely lost it. 20 minutes later, the gate agent picked up the microphone again, voice shaking with barely contained laughter. "Attention passengers at Gate C-27. The individual removed earlier has been officially identified as Mrs. Patricia Wellington, current president of the National HOA Alliance. Effective immediately, Mrs. Wellington is permanently banned from every airport in the United States operated by the Port Authority. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your service to our military families." The reaction was immediate. People were standing on chairs, cheering, clapping, and whooping like we had just won the Super Bowl. My daughter looked up at me with huge, tearful eyes and whispered, "Mommy, did we win?" I leaned down and smiled to my shock. "Yeah, baby, we really did." But the real twist came next. The ex-Army TSA agent walked over, handed me a brand new boarding pass, and said, "Your flight just got upgraded. First class, all 3 seats, open bar, the works." Delta had arranged it, and about 40 other passengers pulled their reward miles to join in celebrating. Someone behind me yelled, "Tell your husband we owe him a beer." A man in a Cowboys jersey even slipped me a $100 bill from my kids' college fund, courtesy of Gate C-27. I was still shaking, barely processing the chaos, when a police officer returned alone. He crouched down so the kids could see and said, "Mrs. Wellington tried to play the 'My husband is a big deal' card. Turns out her husband is a retired Air Force colonel who had been sitting at Gate C-29 watching everything unfold on a live feed." My jaw dropped. He handed me his phone. There was a text thread directly from Colonel Wellington. "Officer, that's my wife. I've been begging her to stop this HOA nonsense for a decade. Please escort her out, issue the permanent ban, and tell the military spouse, I'm sorry, breakfast is on me next time we're at Bragg." I stared at the screen, utterly floored. The woman who tried to ruin my kids' layover had just been publicly humiliated by her own husband, a man who outranked my spouse by miles and still chose to protect us over her drama. The officer grinned and handed me Patricia's infamous 3-inch binder. The cover now had a giant sharpened message in bold military letters. "Patricia, you do not have jurisdiction anywhere. Ever. Love, your ex/future ex-husband." The gate agent announced early boarding for one very special military family and their new fan club. Strangers carried our bags. A pilot saluted us, and my kids walked down the jet bridge like tiny royals as the entire terminal clapped. The last thing I saw before the plane door closed was Patricia being escorted to the terminal in handcuffs, not arrested, just detained for her own safety, still screaming about bylaws while her husband live-tweeted the entire ordeal from 30 feet away with a hashtag #HitCarenDown. We landed home to a viral video that already had over 12 million views. The comment section was full of veterans, flight attendants, and parents praising it as the most satisfying airport karma ever captured. My husband FaceTimed me from the base at 3 a.m., laughing so hard he was crying, telling me the entire battalion had been watching it on repeat. Patricia? The National HOA Alliance quietly accepted her resignation that same week. Her husband filed for divorce the next day, citing irreconcilable embarrassment. So, yeah, never, ever mess with a military mom on a layover. Sometimes the real cavalry wears toddler backpacks and light-up sneakers. Gate C-27 even renamed the kids' play area after our children the following month. There's a plaque, everything. We still stop by every year just to take a photo in front of it. Some victories are loud, some quiet, but none have ever felt this sweet. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Every single subscription motivates me to bring you even more wild, dramatic HOA encounters. And don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. I'll see you in the next story where justice gets even more satisfying.